We were launched last month in February, and the best part of this work has been really being able to meet people like the one that had Mr. Koo and Ms. Lee and Mr. Chang. Because even within our own community of Korean Americans, they're the most voiceless. They're the ones that nobody has heard from for over 50 years. We always talk about what America needs to do about North Korea, about their nuclear weapons and their democratic practices, but very few of us have ever listened to people like you just heard from, the American citizens who have the most at stake, to the thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Korean Americans who have never forgotten their lost families. These images are still fresh in their minds after 50 years. You can see when they talk about their families that they're transported. They're back to being 15 years old, 17 years old, still missing their mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers. And because of that, they've lived even as refugees, because they still don't know whether their families are still alive, what happened to their parents. All they want is to know, is to send a letter, to make a phone call, to see a face. For these Americans, North Korea is not just an abstraction. North Korea is as real as the face of a lost daughter, a childhood home, or a father's grave. So 샘소리 was founded to be a fresh voice for these human concerns. 샘소리 meaning the voice of a fresh spring, fresh voice. Our mission is to be a constructive voice for family reunifications and positive human contacts between the U.S. and North Korea. As you heard from Dr. Linton, many of our donors come from divided families, and they ask us to help them. We can support tuberculosis clinics in their hometowns, but there's nothing we can do to help them officially. Right now, Ms. Lee, who you just heard from, if she wants to find her family in North Korea, she can call me, and I can't do anything for her. She's an American citizen. Her children are American citizens. Her grandchildren are American citizens. And yet, our government has no office, has no channel to help them, has no channel for these humanitarian requests. So 샘소리 has started several projects to act maybe as a foundation, as a small non-profit organization. There's nothing we can do to negotiate with the North Korean government for these family reunifications. What we can do, though, we believe that this effort has to be a government-to-government effort for any family reunifications to occur. What 샘소리's role will be then is to gather the information and the human stories and to put a human face on this division. We'll do the legwork that will make it possible for any kind of family reunification to take place. We have 3 projects. The first is a centralized, confidential database of specific cases, so that if our government ever wants to take this up, we won't waste time looking for these people. Second is an archive of letters, photographs, videos, and an oral history to preserve and share with family in the U.S. and perhaps one day in North Korea. And the third is to hold a nationwide survey to have an accurate estimate of how many Korean Americans there may be from North Korea. They're in the thousands. If we use the South Korean government's estimate of 10% of their population, transfer it over to 10% of 2 million Korean Americans, that's 200,000 Americans right there. Since 샘소리 was launched, I'm just so proud of the Korean American community and their interest in this. I'm proud of what we can show to American society, our family values, our community values, speaking for the weakest of us and the most vulnerable. I hope you've seen these people's human faces. You've seen their American faces, and I just pray that through them you can see the faces of their brothers and sisters in North Korea. Thank you. And next I'll open this up for questions. If Dr. Linton can also come up here, you can ask both of us questions if you have any.